For years, the $600 laptop market was a graveyard of flimsy plastic, rattling trackpads, and hinges that felt like they were living on borrowed time. When the MacBook Neo arrived, it brought professional-grade machining to a student budget. It made every other laptop in this bracket look overpriced and underbuilt. Dell finally mounted a serious response with the new XPS 13, a machine designed to fight back on Apple's own turf. In this side-by-side comparison, both manufacturers keep you on a tight leash. These entry-level models are locked to exactly 8 GB of RAM. However, the XPS 13 adds features Apple intentionally omitted, specifically a 120Hz refresh rate and a backlight keyboard. If you only look at the hardware list, the choice seems obvious. Dell is offering more physical utility for the same money. But at this price tier, manufacturers have to hide their budget cuts somewhere. A strict budget doesn't eliminate compromises, it just shifts them to different parts of the machine. Buying a $600 laptop is a calculated trade-off, a choice of which daily friction you're willing to live with. The XPS 13 uses the exact same machined metal frame as Dell's $1,500 configurations. It feels incredibly rigid, with zero of the flex you'd expect from a budget PC. That premium feel translates directly to the screen. The 120Hz refresh rate makes UI animations like scrolling or minimizing windows feel fluid. The most critical win for the XPS, however, is the backlit keyboard. This is a non-negotiable quality of life feature that Apple stripped away. Whether you're a student in a dim lecture hall or a traveler on a dark nighttime flight, being able to see the keys is a basic requirement for any productive session. The MacBook Neo lacks this entirely. It's a deliberate product segregation choice by Apple, designed to make this model feel limited enough to sell you a more expensive MacBook Air. In low light, you're forced into an awkward screen tilting dance, using the monitor's glow just to find the volume keys on the deck. The Neo does feel slightly more durable in the hand. The chassis is a bit beefier, and it seems like it would survive a drop onto a hardwood floor with less structural damage than the Dell. But for anyone whose routine involves typing in varying environments, the MacBook Neo's lack of backlighting is a severe hurdle. Purely on physical utility, the XPS 13 wins. That lead disappears if you look at the needs of a remote professional or entry-level creator. Here, Dell's hardware removals become a liability. The Dell XPS 13 has no physical headphone jack. This forces you to rely on Bluetooth connections, or sacrifice your only remaining USB-C port to a tangled audio dongle. On this timeline, you can see the impact of Bluetooth audio lag. The sound wave trails milliseconds behind the visual frame, creating a persistent desynchronization. For anyone trying to edit video, that delay makes precise cuts on a specific word or beat virtually impossible without extra hardware. The AV compromises continue with the peripherals. Despite having 4 speakers, the XPS 13 sounds significantly worse than the Neo, and its webcam and microphone are noticeably lower quality. If your work depends on precise media playback or professional-looking video calls, the XPS 13 introduces hardware friction that the Neo simply avoids. Performance is where the divergence becomes most obvious. On paper, both of these base models share that same exact 8 GB memory limit. For light tasks like reading news, typing an email, or managing a few tabs, the experience on both laptops is identically smooth. The cracks appear once you layered on a heavy workload, like running Adobe Premiere with 20 browser tabs open in the background. Looking at the drop in usability on this chart, the XPS 13 hits a wall the moment the workload hits its physical 8 GB limit. Windows 11 begins to stutter and hiccup under the pressure. The MacBook Neo handles this same pressure through a macOS optimization called Unified Memory Swapping. As shown by the Neo's performance line, the software manages memory overflow so efficiently that the UI remains fluid even when you've technically run out of physical RAM. Heat management is the other half of the story. The XPS 13 uses dual internal fans. They aren't constant, but the moment you install software or launch a game, they become audible. The MacBook Neo is entirely fanless. It manages that same heavy workload in total silence. The MacBook Neo relies on its architectural resilience to muscle through pro-level tasks that usually choke entry-level hardware. Neither machine is a perfect do-it-all solution at $600, and while you could pay to upgrade the RAM on the XPS 13, doing so pushes the price into a tier where it's no longer a budget win. Following the decision path for light browsing and low-light typing, the XPS 13 is the obvious choice. If your priority is sensory comfort, the XPS 13 is the best Windows laptop at this price point, period. But the other path leads to a different conclusion. If you edit video or multitask heavily or rely on professional-grade video calls, you need the baseline horsepower that only the Neo provides at this price. There is one caveat. The XPS 13's value depends on its current promotional pricing. If Dell raises it back to retail levels, the math for students changes completely. For now, buy the Dell XPS 13 for superior physical and sensory hardware. But buy the MacBook Neo if you need the architectural reliability to do actual heavy lifting on a budget.